All right. Let's clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. All right. It's Tuesday. We back again, boy. It seemed like we was just here yesterday, right? It's brotherhood class. You know what I mean? It's brotherhood class. You know what I mean? And when we speak of brotherhood, we brotherhood is synonymous with sisterhood. So the things that we say to the brothers also goes for the sisters. You understand? We are one nation, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Everything, these laws, statutes, and commandments are for the so-called, you know, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? And we are to follow these laws. You understand? Loving thy neighbor is a part of the law. You understand? It's biblical. You understand? And when it speaks of loving thy neighbor, it's not talking about these other nations of people. And that's where we get it mixed up. You understand? These other nations, they love their own. You understand? And they show disdain for us. They show us that they don't deal with us. You understand? We are the only people that think this is supposed to be one big melting pot. Well, that's not what the Most High tells us. Most High tells us that we are to love our own. Listen, this is the reason why the Most High separated the nations. He put borders. He gave everybody their land. He gave everybody their own land. You understand? And he told us that we are to love our neighbors or love our own people. It is the law. You understand? We're going to get into some scriptures. You understand? Not just, loving our neighbors, but how we are to act amongst each other, how we are to deal with each other. You understand? We got those kind of laws all through the Bible. You understand? And everybody has to understand that the Bible is not some mystical, you understand, spookism kind of book. You understand? This Bible is laws, statutes, and commandments. It's our moral compass. It shows us how to act towards each other. We can see just by how we live in today, especially here in Baltimore, that we are moral midgets. You understand? Morally, we are lost as a people. You understand? We show our immorality towards our neighbor or towards our own. You understand? When the Bible tells us that we are to love our own. You understand?
Right.
Give me let's jump into 1 John chapter 3 verse 18. 1 John chapter 3 verse 18. We just gonna get our feet wet right here, a little something,
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 18. My little children, let us not love in word.
Say that again.
My little children, let us not love in word.
And that's the problem with us as a nation of people. We always want to love in words. We always want to tell brothers and sisters how we feel, how we love them, right? But we don't show that. You understand? We can show, think about it, right? We show more love to the Asians and the Arabs that come into our neighborhood and rob us blind. Right. Matter of fact, they don't even rob us blind. They rob us eyes wide open.
Right.
You understand? We show more love to them. Think about it, right? Our brothers and sisters walk around and we call these Asians mom and pop. Don't we?
Hate it.
We call them mom and pop, but we'll cuss out the elderly people on our block when they tell us to keep the noise down or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? Or they trying to give us little words of wisdom and we want to tell them F off or something like that. You understand?
Right.
That's not love at all. That's not how the law is. That's not how the Most High told us to treat our own people. Now, I'm not saying go out there and, wreak havoc upon the Asians and the Arabs, but I mean, it happened. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But we gotta turn our love for these other nations to our own people. You understand? We gotta turn our love for these other nations toward these other people. You understand? And this is a way that integration has totally destroyed us. You understand? This is a way that integration has robbed us of loving our own people. Integration has made us push our love on nations of people that hate us. And then when you push your love to someone that hates you, that makes you hate the person standing on your other side or your neighbor. I know we see it every day. You understand? We see it every day. And listen, you can be downtown. You can be right downtown, right at the harbor, and you can see brothers and sisters mugging and looking at each other and, giving each other the egg face. You understand what I'm saying? But as soon as an oppressor walk up, everybody put on that slave smile.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Yep. Showing their teeth, that Sambo teeth show. You understand what I'm saying? We got to stop that. We got to stop that. We got to start giving that love back to our own. This is the reason why a lot of our families are destroyed too. You understand what I'm saying? This is the reason why a lot of our families are tore apart. Because even in our own households, there is no order. There is no camaraderie. There is no law. You understand? Men wanting to be women, women wanting to be men, women wanting to be the head, men wanting to be the backside. You understand what I'm saying? There is no order. And then when the kids come up, they have no structure at all.
Right.
You understand? Our children today have no structure because we refuse to teach. We refuse to show order. You understand? And the Most High has nothing but order running all through this Bible. We're going to touch on some of them things tonight too. You understand? We're going to touch on some of this. But the first thing, that's the base of everything. The base of everything is order, law and order. You understand? Loving your neighbor is law and order. You understand? And in the beginning, there has to be law and order. There has to be structure. You understand what I'm saying? There has to be structure. Without structure, you have nothing. I mean, look at our school systems. No structure. And our children are destroyed.
Right.
But again, in integration, we gave up our school systems to be in the oppressive school systems. We gave up all of our stores to be in the oppressive stores. We gave up all our restaurants, movie theaters, and everything else to be up under the oppressor. And we said it yesterday, right? When you integrate into anything, you become the very thing you integrate into. Our oppressor has no structure. You can look at his government now.
Right.
Right? Look at the government now. Look how it's falling apart. There's no structure. And because we follow our oppressor, we have no structure in the little government, meaning the families that we have. You understand? Because we don't run the government here. Although they have our people as the poster child, as the face of the government. Because especially here in Baltimore, we got black mayors, black commissioners, black councilmen, black city, black district attorneys, all of that. But there's no structure. Why? Because we are following the laws and rules and regulations of our oppressor. And when you follow your oppressor, there's no way that you can grow. You understand? Where was we at on that?
1 John chapter 3 and verse 18.
Go ahead, read that.
My little children, let us not love in word.
And that's what we talked about. We can't love in word. You understand? So if you can't love in word, read on.
Neither in tongue.
Neither in tongue. Go ahead.
But in deed and in truth.
Say that again.
But in deed and in truth.
What does that mean, in deed and in truth?
Your actions.
Say that again. Say it louder.
In your actions.
In your actions. The things that you do shows, you understand, where you stand. It shows whether you have structure or whether you don't. In your actions, it says, but in deed and in truth, in this truth. The only way you can have any kind of structure is if you're following these laws, statutes, and commands. Listen, under our oppressor, there is no structure. If there was structure, our oppressor would not have made laws where mankind can marry mankind.
Right.
That goes against our very essence right there. Womankind shall not lie with womankind. That goes against everything that we stand for. You understand what I'm saying? There is no structure. Think about this. They call the United States the United States. When you go from state to state to state and laws change, how is that? How is that when the government can't regulate the states? The states do what they want to do. That is not a United States. That is a ununited states.
Right.
This country is in disarray, but we can't follow the world. We can't follow what the world is doing. We have to follow what the Most High told us to do. We got to do what, go ahead.
I had a question about the states and how they're so divided. I've been hearing that Texas wants to separate itself totally from the rest of the states, become their own small country within the United States.
Hey, listen, Texas has been trying to do that since the Reconstruction.
Wow.
And listen, they ain't saying nothing but the things that they're saying now are only the things that they've been thinking since the Reconstruction. Texas is not the only state that would like to do that, but if it flies with Texas, watch how many other states follow. And then the thing about it is the other states that follow won't even have the same laws or structure that Texas has. Right. Everybody wants to run and do their own thing. This is the reason why each state has its own government. How can every state have its own government and be united? It's impossible.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Abortion is legal here and not legal there. So people that live here, scary here, to go do what they got to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not uniting. That's the reason why this kingdom has to fall. This kingdom has no structure at all. You understand? But this is only biblical prophecy. Babylon must fall. Egypt must be destroyed. Sodom and Gomorrah must burn. You understand what I'm saying? Describing America. You understand what I'm saying?
God will come.
Let's do this, right? We're gonna shift it. We're gonna shift into another gear. You understand? We're gonna shift into another gear. We talked about order, right? We talked about order. Let's see some things. Let's see some order, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. Like we said, right? The Most High only deals with order. Everything is done. And the thing about it is, what's the most famous, one of the most famous scriptures you hear people in church say? God does everything in decency and in order. Decency and order. Decency and order. You know what I mean? Everybody loves that scripture all the way up until it has to be done. You know why? Because America has destroyed us. America has destroyed everybody. Listen, our oppressor has destroyed everybody all around this world. You understand? I'm not saying that the things that they do in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, I'm not saying that you understand that they have any kind of structure, but the way that they live, America is trying to uproot that. You understand?
Right.
This is the reason why, like I said before, this is the reason why the Most High created different nations and put borders around those nations so that those nations that are heathen can live like the heathen that they are. The Most High created the nation of Israel for us to rule over the other nations. But because we don't follow the structure that the Most High has given us, because we don't stay in that order, we fall below those other nations. Now we are trampled upon. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Because we don't follow that order. Let's look at some order right here. You got that?
Go
Go ahead, read that.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Say that again.
The head of every man is Christ.
Hey, listen, the head of every man is Christ. You understand? If any brother is not following these laws, statutes, and commandments, if any brother steps outside of these laws, statutes, and commandments, they are not in order. They are not under Christ. You understand? Which means they are under the enemy. You don't follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, you are not following Christ. You are not following the Most High, which means you are out of order. God created an order. You understand? Anything that does not have order, does not have structure, does not last. When you see families and the father falls out, the whole family falls apart because there is no order. If there was order, think about it, right? If there was order, men being kicked out of the households in the 70s and the 80s caused the problems of the adults that we see today.
Right.
You understand? Because there was no structure. Order had fell apart. Once order falls, structure falls, the families are destroyed. Start that from the top again.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Every man should fall under Christ. Meaning, I'm talking about so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. These other men in these other nations will fall under our rule. You understand? They fall under our rule. But the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, for us to be where we are to be, the man is supposed to be under Christ. We are supposed to be following these laws, statutes, and commandments. We are supposed to be the head of the household, as Christ is the head of us. Read on.
And the head of the woman is the man.
Say that again.
And the head of the woman is the man.
One more time.
And the head of the woman is the man.
It does not matter how much money you're making, sisters. It does not matter how many jobs you have. It does not matter how many children you have bared. Read that again.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the woman is the man. There is structure. You understand? No matter how much money you make, I don't care if he got a $7 an hour job and you're making $150,000 a year. That man is your head.
Right.
The problem is a lot of sisters want to choose a man that they can rule over. That is not structure. That is not a family. That is a recipe for destruction. Any woman that wants to rule over a man wants a sissy.
Right.
A woman naturally wants to be ruled over by a man. Now, when I say ruled over by a man, a woman wants structure. I'm not talking about sitting as a tyrant over a woman, but a woman wants a man that she knows that she can rely on. And that woman is supposed to hold that man down. Listen, this is the reason why God called the woman to what? To help me. Because she is there to help him, not to help him crash and burn. That's what a helpmeet is. If a man says, listen, I need you to do this, This is what the woman is supposed to do. You understand? That's what a woman is supposed to do. A woman is never supposed to rule over a man. Like I said, if a woman wants a man that she can rule over, she wants a homosexual. I can say that, can I? I say that.
Alternative lifestyle.
Okay, alternative lifestyle. Homosexual sound better. Gets the word through. You know what I mean? There's no way a real man wants a woman to rule over him. And this is the reason why a lot of these women grew up without their fathers in the household. And then they get the notion in their head that if my mother raised me, then I can raise my children without their father in the house.
Right.
It's the reason why we got brothers out here
right,
killing and murdering and doing all these other atrocities in the streets today. Not to say that it didn't go on back, some time ago, but it wasn't on the level that it is today. Right. The disrespect, the disdain has never been at an all-time high. You understand?
Oh, okay.
We are destroyed as a nation of people.
If I may, it's like our little brothers out here nowadays, they carry an effeminate spirit from not having that man at the head. They move in a way and act off emotions like they have watched their mothers throughout their childhood.
Right. And listen, not to mention the way they dress.
Good night.
Yeah, I mean, cats got rocked on when you wore tight pants to school back in the day. You understand? And now everybody got tight pants on.
And pocketbooks, sir.
And purses. I don't even want to call it a pocketbook. I want to call it a purse. You understand what I'm saying? Even the big boys got tight pants and purses on. You understand? Everybody carry. I mean, this is a product of being out of order. When you see stuff like that. Not to mention, you got brothers who step out of order. You got men who don't want to stand up and be men. You got men who want to be ruled over by women. That's a homosexual. Even if he think he's not a homosexual, he's a homosexual. There's no way I'm gonna let a woman rule over me. Ain't no way in hell. You understand? That's not what real men want to do. But real men want to raise a strong family. They want a strong woman. They want strong, intelligent, and obedient children. You understand? Read that from the top.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Go ahead.
And the head of the woman is the man.
Read on.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. So if we falling under Christ, Christ falling under God, the woman falling under the man, children falling under the woman. That's order.
Perfection.
That's structure. You understand? That's law and order at its finest. See, the problem with a lot of women, women are emotional. Let's just say it, right? Women are emotional. Women think off emotion. A lot of times, especially women in the world. If you got a slick pair of sneakers on, you could get her.
Right.
You pull up in a nice ride, you could get her. Treat her like garbage. 20 years down the line, she wishing she had never got into that. It's the woman. Emotion. We got men out here now that were raised up by women that are emotional, that choose women in the same way and are destroyed by the very women that they choose because they have been raised out of order. All emotional. A lot of the brothers going to jail today, going to jail off of emotion. Don't know how to carry themselves as men, out of order. All on their mother's emotion. You understand?
Right.
All on their mother's emotion. When are we going to wake up? Zephaniah 2:1 says what? Gather yourself together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. A lot of our brothers and sisters don't understand that we are a nation of people that are not desired. So the structure of America is created to keep us out of order. It's to keep us out of order. Think about this, right? Something stupid, right? Think about it, right? They legalize marijuana. But if you get caught driving under the influence of marijuana, you go to jail.
Right.
You understand? This is every law that we think is created to help us to have fun was created to destroy us. Think about it. Our government brings the drugs into America. Makes all of these movies that make it look like we're bringing the drugs into America. Now they say we are going to create something, a war on drugs, when it's really a war on so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives.
Right.
They bring the drugs in, give them to us, then arrest us for the drugs that they brought in. Think about this. Hey, did you hear about that big shipment of that big cocaine bust in Philly? Maybe about 2 years ago, they caught off the port of Philly. Did you know that they caught a boat the same day in Baltimore?
Yeah, I heard about that.
The same day.
Mm-hmm.
So if they caught, and if I'm not mistaken, was it what, about $1 billion in drugs off the port of Philly and Baltimore?
I believe so.
So if those two got caught, how many got through? That means if one got caught, 3 got through. They have to make these drug busts to look like they're doing their job. Think about it. Even when COVID hit, right? Everything shut down except for what? The drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs never stopped. How does everything shut down, from water to toilet paper to chicken, everything? If a chicken can't get across the border, how can drugs get across the border?
Right.
I'm just saying, you know? Where we at?
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3.
We finished with that. You can drop that one, right? And drop down to 8.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 8. For the man is not of the woman.
Say that again.
For the man is not of the woman.
See, the man is not of the woman. You understand? The man is not of the woman. The man was not brought here for the woman. Listen, a woman wants you to wait on her hand and foot. She wants to be treated like a queen. She wants to be domineering. She wants to be domineering. She wants to be the head. But the man was not brought here for the woman. Read on.
But the woman of the man.
Say that again. But
the woman of the man.
Listen, that woman is supposed to serve that man. Wait. But that man is supposed to serve Christ.
Right.
Now, if you, and I'm speaking to the women, if you choose a man who is not serving Christ, then you get everything you deserve. And in turn, as a man, if you choose a woman who is not willing to follow you following Christ, You get everything you deserve. A man that chooses a woman like that always chooses a sexy red. You know what I mean? Always chooses a sexy red. A chick with a dude facing her booty while she pregnant. Ain't that something?
Disgusting.
Whoever, I ain't even gonna say it. Man, say whoever laid up with her, boy, got to be embarrassed in the mud, man. You gotta be. You see that little line she came out with? Little makeup line, lipstick and all that.
Yeah.
Man.
She just made a song about the baby fathers. F the baby father.
And listen, this is the type of woman that you choose when you choose a woman who does not want to be in order. That's what you get. That's what you get. She was probably raised by her mother, who was raised by her mother. Now she's raising her kid. You understand? Destroyed. We destroyed as we destroyed as a people, as a family, as a nation. Because these are the things that we choose to follow. These are the people that we choose to follow. You understand? These are the people that we choose. There is law and order in loving your neighbor. Loving your neighbor means respecting your own. Following these laws, statutes, and commandments. And listen, Christ tells us following the law, statutes, and commandments are not grievous. It's not hard. And if you think about it, most of the laws in there does not pertain to us anyway. Think about it. If you're not a homosexual, line with mankind, not line with mankind, that does not apply to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're not a lesbian, line with womankind as womankind, you understand that does not apply to you. If you don't eat pork, that does not apply to you. You understand? So most of the laws in the Bible you probably already following and don't even know it.
Right.
It's not grievous. It's not hard. But the Christian church makes us think that it's hard. They make you think that you can't be perfect. You understand? Once you find the laws that you are not following and you understand this is what you should be supposed to be doing and you get yourself on track, then that's another law that's out of the way. Thus, now you're on your way to perfection.
Right.
The Christian church said you can't be perfect. Nobody can be perfect. Nobody can follow all the laws. Who says so? You cannot follow all the laws only if you don't want to follow all the law. That's the only way you can't follow the laws, is if you don't want to follow the laws. You don't want to stop getting high. You don't want to stop getting drunk. You don't want to stop being in the LGBTQ community. That's the only way, if you don't want to. How hard is it? It's not hard at all. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Read that 9.
Verse 9. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man.
Say it right there. The woman was created for the man. The man was not created for the woman. That's order. Now, we are to take care of our wives. We are to do our husbandly duties. You understand? Just as the wife is supposed to make us happy, we are to make our wives happy. Nobody's going to be, listen, a relationship is a relationship. Nobody's going to be a happy 100% of the time.
Right.
No matter who you be with. You understand? You always going to find fault with somebody. You understand? And everybody going to find fault with you. But you make your wife happy as much as possible, and she makes you happy as much as possible, as long as y'all both following those laws, statutes, and commandments. As long as he's under Christ and you're under him, everybody's covered. Listen, following the laws are not grievous. You know, let's get into First Samuel. We're gonna just get into a little story. You understand? Showing some differences. You know what I mean? We're gonna go First Samuel. What's that, chapter 18? Make sure I can find it. In my eyes, man. First Samuel, chapter 18. I need to get glasses. Chapter 1, verse 1.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The book of First Samuel, chapter 18 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David.
What does that mean? They were tied together. They were tight. Go ahead.
And Jonathan loved him as his own soul.
And that's the way we supposed to. Brothers supposed to love brothers as we love ourselves.
Right.
Scriptures tell us that, right? That was that love between Jonathan and David. You ever had a homie y'all was tight? And that's my nigga right there. That's my man, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's how it's supposed to be. This is what that's describing right there. You understand? They were knit, they were tied, intertwined. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 2. And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul.
And that's how we supposed to be as brothers, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. We are supposed to make a covenant with our brothers. You understand? And our sisters. We supposed to be close. We supposed to have that love for each other, no matter what. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 4. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David, and his garment, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle.
You understand? He gave him all his war apparel, his sword, his girdle. You know that belt we wear, that war belt?
Oh, come on.
Gave him all of that. You understand? We see brothers doing that at the Passover. Brothers say, look, man, that look tight right there. That's nice right there. Man, you want it? Give it to him. I seen brothers, that was my first Passover back in 2018. My first Passover I went to. I seen dudes doing that. I knew I was in the right place. I seen dudes taking necklaces off their neck and giving it to brothers when brothers was like, yo, that's nice. You know what I mean? Brothers from other states. That's brotherhood. This is brotherhood right here. This is a scripture showing brotherhood. This is a scripture showing order. Order is loving your brother.
Right.
Loving your brother as yourself. We talked about that earlier, right? Loving your brother as yourself, right? That's order. David and Jonathan had that love for each other. We rarely see that today. In this world we living in, we rarely see that. We rarely see brothers showing that kind of love. Only time sometimes you see it, and you only see it because brothers are expecting to get something back.
Right.
You rarely see that with brothers not expecting anything back. You understand? Rarely. It's a rare thing. You understand?
Yeah, we all love until some legal matters come into play or some money come into play.
Right.
It's a whole change of the game.
Right. Whole change in the game. You know what I mean? They feel like they can get something from you. Oh yeah. Oh, I love him. That's my nigga. That's my man right there. You know? When the money gone, man, I don't know him. Man, I see him when I see him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it be. We experience this every day here in the UPK.
Right.
We experience love every day in the UPK. You know? I want to jump to, we're going to look at the bad. All right? So that was a good side right there. It's order. We're going to look at the bad now. Let's go to 2 Samuel. Chapter 11 and verse 1.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 11 and verse 1. And it came to pass, after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab, and his servants with him, and all of Israel. And they destroyed the children of Ammon.
Right.
And besieged
Rabbah.
But David tarried still at Jerusalem.
What does that mean? He tarried still at Jerusalem. Tarry. Wait. To tarry. To tarry is to mean to wait it. He waited at Jerusalem. So he stayed at Jerusalem. When the war was going forth, he stayed at Jerusalem. Read on.
Verse 2. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house.
Go ahead.
And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself.
Say that again.
From the roof he saw a woman washing herself.
David saw a woman washing herself from the roof. Go ahead.
And the woman was very beautiful to look upon.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. And David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?
Listen, it says, and David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? The person inquired like, ain't that? He ain't say that. You understand? What did he say? How did he say it? Is not this. If you and I are together, right? And you say, who's that sister right there? And then I say to you, ain't that? That means you know who that is.
Right.
You should know who that is. David knew who it was. But how do we always do when we don't want people to know our intentions?
Cool.
You understand?
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. And David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him.
Listen. Now Uriah is one of his men. He knows who Uriah is. And he still, you understand what I'm saying? He still took her. That is not in order. That is totally out of order. You understand what I'm saying? Knowing who she was, he still took her. You understand? Being out of order. These are the things that destroy us as a nation. You understand? Read on.
And he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness.
Go ahead.
And she returned into her house.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. And the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with child. Verse 6. And David sent to Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. Verse 7.
Right.
And
Now,
when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered.
right. And what David is going to do is totally out of order. You understand what I'm saying? But you have order and you have out of order. As the nation of Israel, it's easy for us to fall out of order. You understand what I'm saying?
Come.
But it's no problem with us in getting back in order. You understand? Even when we fall out of order, we can always fall back into order. You understand?
Come.
That's the good thing about being in the truth. You understand? We make mistakes. I'm not saying that everything that we do, you can just, you understand? Things happen. But this is a situation that was totally out of order. You understand?
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. And David said to Uriah, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house. And there followed him a mess of meat from the king. Verse 9. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. Verse 10. And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down to his house, David said unto Uriah, camest thou not from thy journey? Why then didst thou not go down unto thine house?
Listen, David trying to send Uriah down to his house so that Uriah can lie with his wife so he could cover up the deed that he did. You understand what I'm saying? Again, out of order. And at the end of the day, David sends Uriah to the front line to be killed. Out of order again. You understand? So in one instance, we have David in order. In the second instant, we have David out of order. You understand?
Right.
No man is an island. No man is immune. You understand? In order, out of order. You can drop that. We're going to jump to First Timothy. Oops. What's that? First Timothy chapter 2. And we're going to start at verse 11 and we're going to do 11 and 12.
The book of First Timothy, chapter 2, and verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Say that again.
Let the woman learn in silence.
It says, let the woman learn in silence. We're not talking about going to school and learning in school. We're talking about learning these scriptures right here. You understand? But prophets are men. The Bible tells us that. And in proper order, God passes the order down to Christ. Christ passes the orders down to man. And man passes the orders down to the woman. You understand? It says, let the woman learn in silence. The man is to teach his woman. If the woman does not have a man, then she is to learn from the head who is over top of her, who is the head of the school that she is under. until she gets a man who that man should be under Christ. That's proper order. It says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. You understand? Women hate to listen. You know what that trigger word for a woman is?
Obedient.
Obedient. Obedient. You say obedient to a woman, watch how she react. But a man has to be obedient to Christ.
Right.
Christ has to be obedient to God. A woman refuses to be obedient to that man. And this is the reason why a lot of women find themselves in the predicaments that they're in, because they refuse to be obedient to their husbands, to their man, to their head. Obedient, that's a wicked word. As soon as you say obedient, what's the first thing they say? I ain't no dog.
Right.
That's the first thing. Obedient has nothing to do with being an animal. Obedience has everything to do with being in order. Go ahead.
I guess it's because these Hotep brothers done gamed them up so much, telling them that they are God. Black woman is God.
Black woman is God. Ain't that something? Well, shoot. If you God, protect this household. If you God, go out and make that money and take care of us.
Right.
If you're God, you understand? Do that. Women don't want to do that. Listen, a woman wants to be God, and she wants to be waited on hand and foot. You can only be one. You can only have one. You're gonna follow order, or you're gonna give order. In my house, you ain't gonna be giving order. That does not mean that women cannot have a say in the house. That does not mean that a woman cannot have a good idea. That does not mean that the suggestion of women cannot be taken seriously. Does not mean that. But in every good structure, there is order. There is no 50-50. Because in 50-50, that means we gotta come to an agreement. At some point, someone has to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. That's order. That's the duty of the man. Now, if you don't have a man who's following God, then you're getting yourself into anything. What can we say? You understand?
I don't know what kind.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
It says, but I suffer not a woman to teach. A woman is not to teach a man. We ain't talking about mathematics. We are not talking about science. We are not talking about chemistry. We are not talking about social studies, history, or things like that. We're talking about this Bible. But I suffer not a woman to teach. A woman cannot teach a man these laws, statutes, and commandments. Think about it, right? If you listen to these hoteps, you'll understand why. You go on, listen to some of these black power, you understand, whatever they call themselves, and listen to how they follow their women and how women lead. Destroyed. Most of them can't keep their mouth shut. Can't keep their self in their own business. Always in somebody else's business. And this is the reason why a woman should learn in silence. does not mean a woman can't speak or can't voice her opinion. But when it comes to certain things, a woman needs to learn in silence. She needs to keep her big mouth shut.
Thus said the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord. You know? Hey, I ain't write it. Most High wrote it. I just follow it. You feel me? But I suffer not a woman to teach. Go ahead.
Nor to usurp authority over the man.
Nor to usurp her authority over the man. And listen, when women, and listen, and this is another way America has destroyed our black sisters. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives. You understand? They put them in position to usurp their authority. Again, we talked about it earlier. When a woman making $150,000, a man only making $7. This is when a woman usurps her authority. That's what's usurping your authority. Because you're doing this, you feel like you're entitled to do that. When you are not entitled to do that. You're entitled to give that man that money. That's what you did. Let him make the decisions. Let him make proper decisions. Stop buying hair all the way down to your ankles. You understand? Looking like white women. Nails all the way out here. You understand?
Church fans hanging on their eyes.
Like that right there. That's that Egyptian eyelashes. Look like they like that. Look like they awnings. They got awnings over their eyes. You might as well have a baseball cap on. You feel me? You might as well have a baseball cap on. You close your eyes, you can't see nothing. You blink, you can't see nothing for a split. You know what I mean? Yo, they be looking crazy as a mug, boy. They don't even know people be laughing at them when they see that.
No idea.
Every time they blink, I be laughing. They can't see it anyway, you know? Go ahead.
But to be in silence.
But to be in silence. You understand? That's how that woman, it's hard for a woman to be in silence, though. They cannot be in, a woman can't, listen, that's a struggle. It's a struggle for a woman to be silent. You understand? Because they always got to have, listen, a woman always got to have the last word. And even if you don't say nothing, she going to say something for you just so she can say something else. It's just the character of a woman. You know what I mean? They just, yo, you can sit there, right? And you ain't got to say nothing. They have a whole argument with you. They answer questions for you and everything. Who you think you is? Oh, is that how you feel? You know, I ain't even said nothing. You know what I mean? That's how you feel. Oh, so this is where we going. Well, where we going? You know, they're like, yo, women are crazy. You know what I mean? This is just they listen. I don't know. That's what being out of order gets you. You understand? Out of order gets you just that. The woman that'll argue with you and you ain't got to say nothing and she'll argue for you. That's what being out of order gets you. You understand? And listen, I don't care who you with. And I always tell my oldest son, right? Listen, you beefing with her, right? You figure you're going to go out there and get something new. You're going to be beefing with her too. You understand? This is just the way women are made. You understand? Just got to deal with them. You know? It's life. You know what I mean? You just got to listen, you just got to be able to tone them out, yo. You know what I mean? You get you a nice old Xbox, the earphones on. All I do is be like, yeah. I can't hear you. I got the earphones on, you know? That's all you gotta do. You know what I mean? You just gotta go with them. You just gotta deal with them. Listen, that could have been the best thing that could have ever been created in the world, the Xbox, PlayStation. You know what I mean? You gotta have some kind of solitude, you know, when dealing with one. Listen, I guess the saying is right. You can't live with them. You can't live with them. You can't live without them. Ah, boy.
Best bet is to get in order.
Right, man. Best bet is to get in order. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. You know what I mean? Order. Listen, these laws, statutes, and commands had to be the best thing ever created. Because it tells you how to deal with your woman. You understand? Tells you how to treat your woman. You understand? It gets you prepared for the feeble arguments. You know what I mean? Listen, you just got to clear your whole mind. You got to be ready. Listen, a lot of us as brothers, we impatient. Listen, I'm the most impatient person in the world. I got a low tolerance for bull. You know what I mean? These scriptures have helped me. I ain't saying that I'm all the way there. You know what I mean? Right. I ain't saying I'm all the way there, but it helps. You understand? Because at times it gives you an understanding of why things are happening. And then it helps you to cope, helps you to deal with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Helps you to deal with it. You know? Let's bounce to another scripture. Let's go to Proverbs. Woo! Let's see how the women react to this one. I ain't giving nobody no hint. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 9. Let me see something for a minute. Yeah, verse 9. Verse 9.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21, and verse 9. It is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house.
Listen, it's better to be alone in a small corner. It's better to be alone in a closet than to deal with a brawling woman in a wide open house.
Wow. That's heavy.
Listen, cats would rather be alone. It's better to be alone than to deal with a brawling woman. And a lot of women don't understand why guys just up and you don't hear from them no more. Because a lot of brothers, we can put up with so much. And it goes the same way with women. You understand? It goes the same way. Brothers and sisters don't understand why that other side leaves or ups and just disappears, because it's easier to deal with yourself than to deal with a brawling person or a brawling woman. And we understand, as men, we definitely understand that. Just like we said before, women are emotional. Women think on emotion. You understand? Women are emotional reactors, where men think rational. We'll think things out first. Not to say that we always make the right decision, but we think things out first. Women just off the muck. You understand what I'm saying? Women just react. Bam. What? You understand, without really hearing the situation. You ever said something to a woman? Oh, what? You say, oh, wait. This is what I'm saying. Oh, I thought you know, because they off the, you understand, off the rip, they just, you seen a pit bull, pit bull grab something. That's a woman.
Right.
You know, that's the personality of a pit bull, is the personality of a woman. You understand? As soon as they see it, they grip, no matter what it is. Then you ever see a pit bull, after they finish tearing it up, they start sniffing it and pushing it like, oh shit, I just slide. Oh shit, I just messed something up. You know what I mean? You ever seen them do that? Like, oh, did I do that? Yeah, you just, you know what I mean? That's the personality of a woman. And thing about it is, you have men that react the same way. When you have men and women that react that same way, that's being out of order. That's not following law. You understand? That's being out of touch with the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? You got something?
I was just going to add, you see those men that act like that too, because they were probably raised by that single mother. Like you said earlier.
There you go. There you go. You understand? And that's what we missing. We missing that order. We missing the men in the household. True brotherhood is the father, the mother, and child. Headed by Christ, God over top. That's what we mixing. That we missing the true structure, the true family structure. When we look at all of these other nations of people, you see the East Indian, you see the father, the mother, and the child. You see the Asian, you see the father, the mother, and the child. Even with the African, you see the father, the mother, and the child. Arabs, father, mother, and the child. Even though mother and the child 6, 7, 8 feet back. Father, mother, and the child. Us, mother and child. Us, mother and child. Us, father.
Us, mother, mother, and child.
Or us, father, father, and child.
Right.
You know? Destroyed. Following our oppressor. Matter of fact, where we at on that?
That's Proverbs 21 and verse 9.
Oh, we done with that. I want to go to, hold up for a minute.
Do not envy the oppressor.
Give me hold up, wait a minute. Envy thou not.
The oppressor who cheers on his ways.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't.
That's Proverbs 3 and 30.
Is that 3 and 31? Yeah, 3 and 31.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
And that's the problem with us right here. It's because we want to be as the oppressor. We want to do the things of the oppressor. We envy thou our oppressor. We envy the oppressor. We want to do the things that the oppressor does. Listen, this is the reason why a lot of our leaders get tied up in political issues, in court proceedings and things like that, because they want to do the things that the oppressor does, not understanding that the oppressor lives by his rules. We cannot live by the oppressor's rules. When we live by the oppressor's rules, we fall to the oppressor. Think about it, Marilyn Mosby. The things that they bringing her, the charges that they bringing her up on, are the things that the oppressor does every day. You understand? But when we do those things, we fall to the oppressor.
Right.
The oppressor, might I say, has us by the balls. You understand what I'm saying? We can't do the things that the oppressor does. We have to live by these laws. Listen, if we live by these laws, statutes, and commandments, the oppressor could never bring us up on any kind of charges. Not at all. It's nothing that they can do. The scripture says, envy thou not the oppressor. Go ahead.
And choose none of his ways.
And listen, choose none of his ways. Choose not the LGBT community. Choose not to get high. Choose not drunkardness. Choose not unaliving our brothers and sisters. Choose not voting. Choose not Democrat or Republican. Choose not Donald Trump or Biden. You understand? Choose none of his ways. Every time we choose the ways of the oppressor, we are destroyed. This is the reason why we number one at high blood pressure, HIV. You understand? This is the reason why our murder rate is so high every year. You understand? Because we choose the ways of the oppressor. Whenever we choose the ways of the oppressor, the negativity goes up on us. The negativity goes sky high.
Would that be because the laws are for us, so we the ones get the punishment, not them?
Right, exactly. The laws that are created in America are created for us. These laws are not created. Think about it, right? Donald Trump said Donald Trump ain't paid taxes in years, right?
Right.
That suit that was brought up on him was brought up a few years ago. Where did it go? Where did it go? Disappeared. Why did it disappear? Because they don't live by those laws. Those laws are created for us. Donald Trump said, well, if you want me to pay taxes, change the law. They said, shh. It's not for you, it's for the niggas. That's it. Laws are created for us. I said it yesterday. Think about it, right? In 1637, they created the doctrine of exclusion. No slave, descendant of a slave, or black person shall enjoy the fruits of white society. We talked about that yesterday. Look at us today. We don't own anything to enjoy the fruits of white society. Don't own any gas stations. We own nothing that can build a nation. That's the fruits of white society, when you can lay back and take care of your nation. The Arabs have oil. The Asians have bootleg. The Asians have soul food restaurants. Ours. The Arabs have chicken. Ours. Those are the fruits of white society. We gave all of that up. Thanks to Martin Luther King. Listen, this is Black History Month. We talked about that last night. This is Black History Month. And everything that they teach us about Black history is not Black history. That's another story, though. Brotherhood is learning true Black history. Black history coming back to what we know. We know these laws, statutes, and commandments. We know order. We have to fall back in order. Listen, the scriptures say the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We have the power to change our own condition. All we got to do is come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. But we choose our path. You're either going to choose the path of destruction or the path of righteousness. It's as simple as that. Right now, we are choosing the path of destruction. Everything that we're going through are the things that we asked for. Brothers couldn't wait till marijuana got legalized. Created a whole day for it. What's that, 421? Something like that? What's that?
420.
420. Damn, I'm a day off. I'm late in the month. You feel me? 420. We destroyed as a people. When we gonna learn? When we gonna wake up? When we gonna fall back in order? When we gonna follow when we gonna come back into law and order? You understand? When we gonna come back into that? When we gonna come back into loving our neighbor, loving our people, loving our nation, loving our people, loving our neighbors is law and order. When we hate our nation, we fall out of order. I'm gonna grab one more scripture. I will grab Ezekiel chapter 34. Verse 31. Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 31.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 34 and verse 31. And ye my flock.
Say that again.
And ye my flock.
Go ahead, say it one more time.
And ye my flock.
And ye my flock. Ye my prophets. Go ahead.
The flock of my pasture.
Listen, the flock of my, listen. What is the flock? What's a flock? Flock can be a flock of sheep, flock of geese, but we talking about a flock of sheep. Ye my flock, right? When you put a flock into the pasture, what does the flock do?
Get in order.
They graze, they feed. You understand? We the prophets, we feed on these scriptures, right? We feed on these scriptures. And when we feed on these scriptures, what do? We breed. And make the flock bigger. We go out there on these, when we sit in here in these classes, right? We actually feeding on these scriptures. We're grazing in the pasture. We're setting ourselves to go out there and feed and make the flock bigger. Bring brothers in.
Oh, God.
Read that again from the top.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 34 and verse 31. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men.
Listen, the flock of this pasture are men. Men. We teach these laws, statutes, and commandments. The prophets of the Most High. You understand? And then we go out there and we feed the flock. What did Christ tell Peter? If you love me, what? Feed my flock, feed my sheep. If we love the Most High, we're going to go out there and we're going to stay in order and we're going to feed the sheep. We're going to make the flock, we're going to make this flock bigger. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
And with that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the descendants of the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth. And the Bible identifies us as the true biblical Jews of the Bible. Listen, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, is what Christ said. We have the power to change our condition. The only way we're going to change our condition is if we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. With that, shalom, Israel.